My ancestors, the Irish, have endured large societal hardships and discrimination during the past 300 years. These hardships, brought about by changes in the political influence of the British as a result of the Battle of the Boyne in 1690, made it very difficult for the Irish people to progress as a society for several hundred years. As a result of these changes, during the 1718 and into the 1900s, the Irish were not allowed to serve in the military or even hold a government office. They weren't allowed to vote, buy land, practice law, attend school, possess weapons, practice their religion, speak their native Gaelic language, or trade with any other nations. As time moved on and generation after generation of Irish citizens was denied these rights, the Irish society grew subservient to their overseers, eventually decayed to the point of destitution. Those farmers, my ancestors among them, took to farming potatoes, which was a staple of the Irish diet, in order to pay rent to their British landlords. In 1845, a ship from America came to Ireland, unknowingly carried a plant virus that decimated the specific strand of potato that was grown in Ireland, causing them to become moldy. With successive years of potato famine, increasing numbers of farmers were unable to pay their landlords and were forced to leave their homes. Many others died from typhus, starvation, or other famine-related diseases. My ancestors, among many others, came to America in search of a new life, a new opportunity away from the restricted lives that had been imposed upon them so many years ago. Unfortunately, the Irish coming to America were not welcomed by non-Irish Americans. Irish Americans were left only undesirable subdivided homes that were single-family residences, but with regards to the Irish, shared by several families. Most of the time, these tiny spaces were someone's cellar, attic, or side alley, and since most of the Irish had come from mud huts and could not afford their own space, they were more than willing to settle for less. Because of the limited space and access to clean water or sewage systems, disease became synonymous with the Irish Americans. Cholera, typhus, tuberculosis, and mental illness were commonplace, as were fire hazards, alcoholism, violence, and crime in neighborhoods occupied by Irish Americans. As a result, it was common for non-Irish families to move out of neighborhoods that Irish started living in. Finding work was another challenge for my Irish ancestors, as commonly seen in these "Help Wanted," "No Irish Need Apply" signs that were frequently posted outside of businesses searching for workers. This left the Irish with only the jobs that no one else wanted or were too dangerous for the pay. Desperate for work, Irish workers were often taken advantage of by business owners by paying them less money than the other workers and requiring them to work longer hours. This caused a great amount of tension between the Irish and other workers as well as labor groups. Businesses used the threat of Irish workers to replace uncooperative non-Irish, which caused organizations such as the American Protective Association and the Ku Klux Klan to take action against any Irish seeking work. There was also a great amount of tension between the Irish and African American workers, as the American society frequently used one group to replace another, depending on who would work for the least money, and both were characterized by newspapers as barely human in appearance. Over time, however, the Irish slowly began achieving higher and higher social statuses, and the offspring of the original Irish that came to America took jobs in law enforcement, as firefighters, teachers, lawyers, doctors, politicians, and so on. The process was slow, the acceptance gradual. But today, the Irish Americans, the descendants of the almost human Irish that came to America 150 years ago, are able to contribute to society in all kinds of positive ways. My grandmother, an Irish woman who became a teacher, has a grandson that has also become a teacher. Although her struggles for acceptance were far greater than mine, I think if it were not for the determination of my ancestors against public perception, I would not be where I am today.